Okay, let's talk about the median of frequency distribution. The median of frequency distribution can be gotten by applying the idea of odd and even number. You understand? Okay, if you followed our lesson on measure of central tendency, measure of central tendency when we are dealing with ungrouped data, we talk about when the total numbers of our element is odd, we use a particular formula, and when the total numbers of our element, that is the values that we have in our data set, is even, we make use of a specific formula. It's also applicable in this place. You understand? So now let's look at the step in calculating the median of frequency distribution. The first step is that we are going to get the position of the median class. We are going to get the position of the median class. Then after that, we construct a cumulative frequency table. Then we locate the position of the median term through the cumulative frequency table. You understand? Just follow this lesson carefully. You are going to understand. Okay, now let's also look at some work example on how to calculate the median of frequency distribution. Okay. Example 1. A numbers of families were asked how many children they had. The results are as follows. Find the median of the frequency distribution. To determine the median of this frequency distribution, we first need to determine the position of the median class. Are you getting what I'm saying? In order to determine the position of the median class, we need to know maybe the total numbers of elements or values in our frequency distribution is even or odd. Are you getting it? If the total numbers of values or elements in our frequency distribution is even, we are going to use this formula to determine the position of our median class. Let me put it. The median position is summation f all over 2. Are you getting it? That is, if the total numbers of elements or values is, if the total numbers of elements or values in our frequency distribution is even, we are going to use this formula to determine our median position, our median class. Are you getting what I'm saying? But if it is odd, we are going to use this formula to determine the position of our median class. That is summation f plus 1 all over 2. Are you following? We are going to use this formula. Let me put th because we are dealing with position. So how do we know the total numbers of elements or values that we have in our data set? We are going to determine the total numbers of elements or values that we have in our data set by summing up the frequency. The frequency tells us the numbers of time each data or element or values appears in our data set. Are you getting it? The frequency shows the numbers of time each values or data or elements in our data set each time, the numbers of time they appear. That is what the frequency shows. Are you getting it? So in order to know the total numbers of elements or values or data that we have in our data set or in our frequency distribution, we have to sum the frequency together. Are you getting it? So let us just construct a typical table. Are you getting it? So whereby we are going to have summation f. Oh, sorry. Let me just put f. Okay. Let me just put f. F stands for frequency. Okay. F. So I'm going to have 10, 15, 18, 6, 4, 7. Okay. So summation f is equals to, now when we sum all this together, the answers that we're going to get is 50. So having gotten the sum of the frequency as 50, now I want to ask you, which is 50 an odd number or an even number? Yeah, 50 is an even number. So I'm going to make use of this formula to determine the position of my median class. Are you getting it? This is used when the sum of the frequency is even, and this is used when the sum of the frequency is what? Odd. Are you getting it? So the position of the median number can be determined by using the formula. So I'm going to have the median position is equals to 50, which is the sum of the frequency. 50 all over 2. That is the 25th term. So the 25th term is the median, the position of the median, the position of the median number. The median class is 25th. Are you getting what I'm saying? So now, in order to determine my median number, I have to construct the cumulative frequency table. Are you getting it? So I'm going to have cumulative frequency. So for this, I'm going to have 10. 10 plus 15, that is 25. 25 plus 8, that is 33. 33 plus 6, that is 39. 39 plus 4, that is 43. 43 plus 7, that is 50. You understand? So the cumulative frequency is what? I've already constructed the cumulative frequency table. Now, from this cumulative frequency table, which frequency does 25th? Don't forget that our median position, the median class is what? 25th. Are you get what I'm saying? Now, where does 25th falls into among this cumulative frequency table? It falls around here. Are you getting it? So the frequency that belongs to the position where 25th falls to is 15, Abi? Yeah, it is 15. So you are going to go back to your frequency distribution and know and check the numbers of x, numbers of the value of x of us. X is the numbers of children. Are you getting what I'm saying? X is the number of children. So you are going to choose that value. That value is the median number. Are you getting what I'm saying? That is the median of the frequency distribution. Example 2. The table shows the scores obtained when a fair die was thrown a numbers of times. If the probability of obtaining 3 is 0.26, find the median. To get the median of this frequency distribution, we first need to determine the value of x. Don't forget that the probability of obtaining x, is what? 0.26. You have been given that the probability of obtaining x is what? 0.26. Now, don't forget, from the basic law of probability, in order to find the value of x, from the basic law of probability of obtaining an observation is equals to that observation all over the sum of observation. You understand? That is, probability of obtaining an element is equals to that element all over the sum of the elements. Are you getting what I'm saying? All over the total numbers, the sum of the total numbers of observation or elements. Are you getting what I'm saying? So now let us use the same approach here. Since we have been given that the probability of obtaining x is what? 0.26. So from basic law of probability, we're going to have probability of x is equals to the observation, which is x itself, all over the sum of what? Observation. You understand? So let us proceed. The probability of obtaining x is what? 0.26. So I'm going to have 0.26 is equals to x all over summation of all the observation. That is, I'm going to sum all the frequencies together. So for this, I'm going to have 2 plus 5 plus x plus 11 plus 9 plus 10. That is 37 plus x. So at this case, we are going to cross multiply. So we are going to have 0.26 all into bracket 37 plus x is equals to x. You understand? That is, I cross multiply this over 1. So this multiplied by this and this multiplied by this. 0.26 multiplied by x, that is 0.26x. And 0.26 multiplied by 37, that is 9.62. Sorry. 9.62 plus 0.26x is equals to x. You understand? So now let us proceed. 9.62, if I connect like terms, I'm going to have 9.62 is equals to x minus 0.26x. You understand? So we're going to have 9.62 is equals to x minus 0.26x. That is 0.74. You understand? So now the next step is that we are going to divide both sides by 0.74. If you divide both sides by 0.74, we are going to have x as 13. So this divided by 0.74 and this 0.74. So x is equals to 13. So we have gotten the value of x as 13. So now in this case, I'm going to erase this
and write the value of x, which is what? 13. Now we can proceed to find the median of this frequency distribution because we have known the value of x. Now I want you to remember that in order to get the median of this frequency distribution, the first step is that we are going to get the term where our median we are going to get the position where our median class falls to. Are you getting it? And in order to determine that, we have to first know the total numbers of our observation, the total numbers of frequency that we have in here. So I'm going to have another table here. Let this start for frequency. So let's have a frequency table here. I'm going to have 2, 5, 13, 11, 9, and 10. You understand? So if you sum all this together, that is 2 plus 5 plus 13 plus 11 plus 9 and plus 10, that will give us 50. So if the frequency is 50, I want to ask you, is 50 an odd number or an even number? Yeah, 50 is an even number. So in order to determine the position of the median class, we have to use this formula. Don't forget, that is summation f all over 2, because this formula is used to determine the position of the median class if the frequency, if the summation of all our frequency is what? Even. So in that case, I'm going to have 50 all over 2. That is 25th. Have you gotten it? So the position of the median class is 25th. Now we are going to construct our cumulative frequency table. Cumulative frequency, that is CF. So for this, I'm going to have 2 plus 5, 7, 7 plus 13, that is 20, 7 plus 13, that is 20, 20 plus 11, that is 20 plus 11, that is 31, 31 plus 9, that is 40, 40 plus 10, that is 50. So the cumulative frequency, I've already constructed the cumulative frequency. Now, from this cumulative frequency, I'm going to locate the range where 25th falls to. Please, I want you to pay attention. It falls between this place. You understand? So the frequency there is what? 11. So I'm going to go back to my table. The frequency is 11. So therefore, the median scores is what? 4. So the median of this frequency distribution, the median is what? 4. You understand? Do you understand how I get this? The first step is that you are going to what? Determine, you are going to get the position of the median class. Are you getting it? By summing all your frequency and dividing it by 2. Are you getting it? If the frequency is even, that is, if the summation of the frequency is even, you are going to make use of this formula. Or if it is odd, you are going to make use of summation f plus 1 all over 2 and get the position of the median class. Then you proceed to construct your cumulative frequency table. Are you getting it? So that's what I just did, and locate where the position of the median class falls to in the cumulative frequency table. Then trace it back to your frequency. I got 11. Then I go back to my table. I look at the scores which belongs to 11. That is the scores that correspond to 11. That is 4. So that's how I got the median class. Are you getting it? So that's how to get the median of a frequency distribution table. Now let us proceed to example 3.
The distribution of daily wages in $100 of some workers on a farm is as given below. Question 1. How many workers are on the farm? Question 2. Calculate the median wage.
To get the total numbers of workers in the farm, the numbers of workers is the frequency. The numbers of workers is the frequency. And don't forget that frequency tells us the numbers of time our observations occur. Are you getting it? So in that case, in order to get the total numbers of workers, I'm going to sum all the numbers of workers. So the total numbers of workers on the farm is what? 2 plus 4 plus 10 plus 11 plus 15 plus 10 plus 3. So the total numbers of workers on the farm is 55. So the total numbers of workers on the farm is 55. Now let us proceed to question number B. We are told to find the median wage. The median wage we are told to find the median wage. Now, I want to ask you, don't forget, I told you that in order to get the median of a frequency distribution table, we first need to get the position of the median class. And in order to get the position of the median class, we have to use a formula. And to know the formula that we are going to use, we have to know maybe total numbers of frequency, which is the numbers of workers, is even or odd. Now, I want to ask you, is 55 odd or even? Yeah, 55 is an odd number. So, in order to get the median position, we have to make use of summation f plus 1 odd over 2. Where summation f is the sum of all the numbers of workers. Are you getting it? So, I'm going to have 55 plus 1 odd over 2. That is 56. 56 divided by 2 is 28. So the position of the median class is what? 28. So after getting the position of our median class, the next step is that we are going to construct our table. This will represent frequency and this for cumulative frequency. Okay, the frequency that we have here are 2, 4, 10, 11, 15, 10, and 3. The sum of all these frequencies is what? 55. You understand? So let us construct the cumulative frequency. For this, I'm going to have 2 plus 4. This is 6. 6 plus 10, that is 16. 16 plus 11, that is 27. 27 plus 15, that will give us 42. 42 plus 10, that will give us 52. 52 plus 3, that is 55. So we have constructed the cumulative frequency. Okay, now it is from this cumulative frequency that we are going to check where 28 falls into. Are you getting it? So, and if you check, you can see that 28 falls around this place, around this 42. So, because 28 is greater than 27, we cannot choose this. But 28 is less than what? 42. So, 28 falls around this place. The frequency that corresponds to 42, the frequency that corresponds to 42 is 15. So, we are going to go back to our table. You can see, we are going to go back to our table and look at the wages that correspond to 15. That is what? 6. So, the median of this frequency distribution is what? 6. Now, I want you to remember that in the question, they gave us that the wages of these workers are given in what? $100. So, in order to get the median wages, we are going to multiply 6. The median wage is what? The median wage is what? 6 multiplied by $100. Are you getting it? That will be what? $600. So the median wage of this frequency distribution is $600. So that is how to calculate the median of the frequency distribution. Now let us proceed to the mode of the frequency distribution.
Okay, now how do we find the mode of a frequency distribution? Look at this question 1. We have the scores and the numbers of students. Now, what is the mode of this frequency distribution? In order to determine the mode of a frequency distribution, you have to know the meaning of frequency. Don't forget that I told you that frequencies tell us the number of time each element or observation repeats itself. Are you getting it? So the numbers of time in which element or observation repeats itself is known as the frequency. And if you look at this question number 1, we have the scores and the numbers of students that has each score. Now, what is the frequency? The frequency is the numbers of students that has each scores. Now, how many students score? How many students scores 2? 5 students scores 2. 3 students scores 4. 6 students score 5. 4 students score 6. And 2 students scores 7. Now, what is the mode of this frequency distribution? The mode of the frequency distribution is 5, because 5 is the numbers that has the highest value of occurrence. 5 occurs at 6 times. So the mode of this frequency distribution is 5. Do you understand? Now let us proceed to the second question. Question number 2. What is the mode of this frequency distribution? The mode of the frequency distribution is 2. Why? The reason is that 2 is the numbers that have the highest numbers of frequency. Are you getting it? So any element or observation that has the highest numbers of frequency in your frequency distribution is known as the mode of that frequency distribution. You understand? So 2 is the mode of this frequency distribution. Now you can see that it is very easy to determine the mode of a frequency distribution. Now let us proceed to the third question. Now, okay, I want you to try this question. What is the mode of this frequency distribution? Now you can check your answer. The answer to the above question is 6, because the 6 is the numbers that have the highest numbers of occurrence. Are you getting what I'm saying? 6 is the wages that have the highest frequency with what? 15. You understand? So the mode of this frequency distribution is 6. So that is how to calculate the mean, median, and mode of frequency distribution. You can see that it is very, very easy. So